What's good, YouTube? It's your boy Prosper, back with another reaction video. In this video, I'm about to react to Immortal Technique, You Never Know, featuring Jean Grey. Ready to see what's up with this, bro. It's been a long-ass minute since I reacted to some Immortal Technique. And I mess with Immortal Technique heavy, bro. I mess with what he stands for, you know what I mean, as a person and whatnot. And his music is dope as hell, so I'm excited for this one, bro. It's a long-ass track. It's 7 minutes long, almost 8 minutes long. And I think it's a pretty big song as well, you know what I mean? Just based off the streams and whatnot. So yeah, I'm excited, ready to see what's up with this. But before we get into the video, I need y'all to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, run on the case subs. Let's go. Post notifications on. And with that being said, let's check this out. Alright, let's get it.
On her way to becoming a college graduate, wouldn't even stop to talk to the average kid. The type of Latina I'd sit and contemplate marriage with. Fuck the horse and carriage shit, her love was never for hire. Disciplined intellectual beauty's what I desire. Flyer than Selma Hayek or Jennifer Lopez. Everyone told me kicking it to her was hopeless. At first I just thought she didn't mess with broke kids. The thug niggas always talking about how they smoke kids, but the rich sniff coke kids got no play. I'm not even interested what her body language would say. Everyone around the way gave up trying to get in it, cause didn't matter how good your game was, she wasn't with it. All the block bitches was jealous but wouldn't admit it. Talk shit and deny to everyone that they did it, cause they regretted the long list of niggas that they let hit it. And no one ever gave them shit except McDonald's and Diddick. Smoking weed with thoughts of envy whenever they lit it. She spoke intelligently and they bit it, always trying to copy, but when they tried to use her vocab they sounded sloppy. She had a style all her own, respectful and pure. I was sick in the head for her and there wasn't a cure.
So this is obviously a storytelling track. I'm just gonna let it ride through, but so far I mess with it, bro. The hook is dope, the beat is dope, and he's setting the scene really well, you know what I mean, with the first verse and whatnot. But yeah, I like it. Let's keep it going.
Let you go, hold tight to your love, cause you never know.
Her eyes were brown and beautiful, yet empty and sad. I used to talk to her occasionally, and she was glad that I wasn't just another nigga trying to get in it. So every now and then we'd stop and talk for a minute. I didn't have a gimmick, so the minutes turned to hours. On her birthday, I gave her a poem with flowers. Then I took her out to dinner after her cousin's baby shower. We talked about power to the people and such. We spent more time together, but it was never enough. I never tried to sneak a touch or even cop a feel. I was too interested in keeping it real, perfectly honest and complete. She would always call me cariño and never technique. Bought me a new book to read every 2 or 3 weeks, forever changing the expression of my thoughts when I speak. It was because of her I even deaded all of my freaks. She convinced me to stop hanging out on the streets, to stop robbing and stealing from people like you. Instead I took her out to the Apollo and the Bronx Zoo, Museo del Barrio and the Metropolitan too. Got to the point where I was either with her or my crew, so I decided one day to tell her my feelings was true. I couldn't live without her, so I told her face of my fears, but honey's only response was a face full of tears. She could only sob hysterically, holding me tight. I tried to speak, but she wouldn't stop until I left sight. I felt like a moth who got himself too close to the light. Except I didn't burn, I turned cold after that night.
Ooh, okay, hold up. That's a hard line right there, bro. So he really loves her, you know what I mean? But it's more of a, I guess you could say, just because he ain't sleep with her or anything. You know what I mean? So it's more just loving who she is type shit, right? He's not trying to hit it and quit it type shit. But hold up, this line where he said, "Bought me a new book to read every 2 or 3 weeks, forever changing the expression of my thoughts when I speak." That's a dope line, you know what I mean? Because talking about how she was smart, right? She was on her way to become a college graduate and whatnot. She's the type of Latina that you would contemplate marriage with, right? So basically telling you what type of person she is, right? The characteristics she has, qualities she has. And then also she convinced him to stop hanging out the street. She was a good influence to him, right? Stop robbing and stealing from people like you, right? When you're committing crime in your own community, the people you're hurting look just like you, which is very true. So, and then what else did he say? So I decided one day to tell her my feelings was true. I couldn't live without her. So I told her, facing my fears, but honey's only response was a face full of tears. She could only sob hysterically, holding me tight. I tried to speak, but she wouldn't stop until I left sight. And then the way he closed out this verse is crazy. I felt like a moth who got himself close to the light. You know what I mean? Moths are attracted to light. Except I didn't burn. I turned cold after that night. That's hard. That's a hard closing line. Let's keep it going.
Don't you know that time waits for no man?
Yeah, this hook is fire. Based off the hook, don't you know that time waits for no man? That's a very true saying, you know what I mean? My fate is all planned. That's facts too, right? Everyone's, I guess you could say, book is already written, how their life pans out. I'm blessed just to know you. I love and I've lost just to hold you all night. I can't find a reason why God came between you and I. But if I had the chance again, I'd never let you go. Hold you tight. Hold tight to your love, because you never know. So I guess he I don't know, based off this hook, it seems like it's going to lead to them separating, you know what I mean? Or him losing her, I think. Just based off this hook, but let's keep it going.
Went on with my life. I went on with my life. College and my career ended up locked up like an animal for a year, where the COs talk to you like they were the overseer. Then I got sent to the hole when my exit was near. At night in my cell, I'd close my eyes and I'd see her, hold her close in my dreams. But when I woke, she disappeared. Just an empty cell until the state gave me parole. In the summer, came back intact and on track. But the fact of the matter is I still felt cold. Even after my mother hugged me crying at home, my real niggas would catch me thinking out of my zone, fucking lots of different women, but I still felt alone. Relatively well known around the New York underground, but I kept thinking of her and how we used to be down. The sound of her voice and the beautiful smell of her hair, though gone physically, somehow it was still there. I had to do something because the shit was too much to bear. So I went and visited the building where she used to live. The world looks a lot different after you do a bid. Your way of life done changed, while primitive minds are still stuck in the same game. Like her cousin who was on the corner slinging cocaine, stepped in the lobby and tapped the button next to her last name. Her mom buzzed me up and hugged me up like a mother order, but her facial expression changed when I asked about her daughter.
Okay, this verse was dope, bro. You know what I mean? Because there's a lot of truth he's speaking in this. So I think this is about his actual life. This is a true story. You know what I mean? Yeah, I think this is about a true story. Because I know he got locked up. He did get locked up for some, I don't know exactly what it was. But I think he got in a fight or something. You know what I mean? Defending himself or something. I don't know what it was. But I think that's what they locked him up for or whatever. But I don't know. I think that's what he's referring to when he says this line. Or maybe it's a different time he got locked up as well. But went on with my life, college, and my career, ended up locked up like an animal for a year. Where the COs, correctional officers, right, talk to you like they're the overseer. They treat you like shit, you know what I mean? They don't even treat you like humans. And that's just because of the power they receive, right, over you. Then I got sent to the hole when my exit was near, and the whole is confinement, right? Solitary confinement. So I guess that they sent him to solitary confinement when his prison bid was almost to near, right? He was almost done with his sentence and was about to be released, which is some fucked up shit. You know what I mean? Because that shit makes some niggas go crazy. Being locked in a room, no light and whatnot, for 23 hours and whatnot a day. At night in my cell, I closed my eyes and I'd see her, hold her close in my dreams, but when I woke, she disappeared. So that's all he can think of, right? In his dreams, he sees her. He'd be thinking about her when he's awake, all this type of stuff. Just an empty cell until the state gave me parole, and Summer came back intact and on track. But the fact of the matter is, I felt cold even after my mother hugged me, crying at home. My real niggas wouldn't catch me thinking out of my zone, right? So she got it messed up, you know what I mean? Being them separating and whatnot. And when he said my real niggas wouldn't catch me thinking out of my zone, he would not let his homies and whatnot, right, see him in this state that he's at right now. Fucking a lot of different women, but I still feel alone, right? Escapism, and none of that shit is fulfilling because his heart is with her. Relatively well known around New York underground, and that's why I think this is true story, right? Because New York underground rap scene, I guess that's what he's talking about, right? I keep thinking of her and how we used to be down, the sound of her voice, the beautiful smell of her hair. Though gone physically, somehow it was still there, right? I had to do something because this shit was too much to bear, so I went and visited a building where she used to live. The world looking... This line right here is reality. The world looks a lot different after you do a bid. Because a lot of years pass by, you know what I mean? And whether it be 5 years, 10 years, or whatever, the world changes, right? It's ever changing. So it looks totally different. And on top of it, since you never got to see a glimpse of the real world for however long you were locked up, it looks totally different, right? Different than when you left, as well as sometimes you forget how the real world is from doing a long-ass prison sentence and whatnot, which is fucked up if you think. The way your life done changed while primitive minds are still stuck in the same game. Like her cousin who was on the corner slinging cocaine, stepped in the lobby, tapped on the button next to her last name. Her mother buzzed me in, hugged me up like a mother oughta. Her facial expression changed when I asked her about her daughter. So this is where the story takes a turn. You know what I mean? Let's keep it going, though. Dope. Dope.
There was a note for me that was left behind, and she had left it there waiting for such a long time. I was inclined to ask about it, but she brought it up first. I saw a tear swelling up in her eye, and then she cursed. She told me where the letter was, and I started thinking the worst. Reversed my position, stepped over and opened the door, and sure enough there was an envelope with my name on the floor. Nobody loves you more than me, cariño's what the letter said. By the time you get to read this, I'll probably be dead. But when you left in 97, a part of me went to heaven. I thank God at least I got to know what love really was. But it hurt me to see what true love really does. Cause even though we never made love, you were all that there was. It was because I loved you so much that I had to make you leave. You made me doubt the way I thought. You made me wanna believe. And then I slipped up and I let you get close to me. It was hard to not be openly when people spoke to me. This was not the way I thought my life was supposed to be. Baby, don't you see? I had a blood transfusion that left me with HIV.
Damn.
Hope didn't exist for me since late in 1993. I died a virgin. I wish I could have given myself to you. I cried in the hospital cause there was no one else but you. Promise that you'll meet me in paradise inevitably. No matter what, I'll keep your love forever with me. What happened for the rest of the day is still a blur, but I remember wishing that I was dead.
Damn.
Instead of her, she was buried on August 3rd. The story ends without a sequel, and now you know our technique. Don't fucking fall in love with people. Hold the person that you love closely if they're next to you. The one you love, not the person that simply has sex with you.
Okay.
Appreciate them to the fullest extent, and then beyond, cause you never really know what you got until it's gone.
Okay. Wow. Okay, that That's the way to close it out, bro. Beat is dope. Yeah, okay. That's the way to close it out, bro. Yeah, that's the way to close it out, bro. What a closing verse, bro. So yeah, he gets there, you know what I mean? At her mother's home, where she used to stay. Sees the envelope with a letter. And then she basically talking about what is it called, right? How she loved him. It's crazy how she wrote a letter knowing that she'll die, you know what I mean? By the time you get to read this, I'll probably be dead, but when he left in 97, a part of me went to heaven. I thank God at least I got to know what love really was, right? So she already knew she was going to die because of her illness, right? The disease, HIV, being transmitted and whatnot. So she knew her time was limited. So the fact that she wrote this letter, it's crazy, bro. That's crazy. But talking about she appreciated the time she had with him and how much he meant to her, and whatnot, right? It was because of you. I love you so much that I had to make you leave. You made me doubt the way I thought. You made me want to believe. So I don't get the part where he left. That part's confusing me, unless I missed that or whatever. Yeah, I don't know exactly where that part is at. Because it just goes on to him being locked up and whatnot, right? He went on with his life being locked up. So I guess that's when they separated ways and whatnot. But yeah, she got a blood transfusion that left her with HIV. Hope didn't exist for me since late in 93. I died a virgin. I wish I could have given myself to you. I cried in the hospital because there was no one else but you. Promise that you'll meet me in paradise inevitably. No matter what, I'll keep your love forever with me. So that's a deep ass letter, bro, right? Definitely will fuck you up type shit too. What happened for the rest of the day is still a blur, but I remember wishing that I was dead instead of her. She was buried on August 3rd. Story ends without a sequel, and now you know why Technique don't fucking fall in love with people, right? It hurt him too. And this is the deepest line right here, bro. Just the way he closed it out. Hold the person that you love closely if they're next to you. The one you love, not the person that simply have sex with you, right? Because they didn't have sex, but the connection, the bond that they had was much greater than many people have. You know what I mean? That be having sex in their relationship and whatnot. So that's crazy, bro. That's crazy. Appreciate them to the fullest extent and then beyond, because you never really know what you got until it's gone. That's true too, right? Appreciate it. Gratitude goes a long way. But dope track, bro. Just the way he painted the scene from the beginning, you know what I mean? To just how he told the story, right? It was like a movie playing, you know what I mean? And then at the end, there's a message that he was trying to convey, which is basically appreciate what you have until it's gone, and appreciate the real people around you, right? That have love for you and that truly care about you and all that. So this is dope, bro. This is the type of music I like. You know what I mean? When artists get deep and personal in their music, you know what I mean? And then use their experience, right, to deliver a message at the end. It doesn't get better than that, in my opinion. It doesn't get better than that. So this is dope. Yeah, he killed this, bro. He did his thing on this track. Jean Grey as well did her thing too. The hook was fire. I like this track. I like this track a lot. Doesn't even feel like a 7-minute song. You know what I mean? Because how tuned in he had you. How tuned in he had the listener and whatnot. But overall, I mess with this track, bro. If y'all enjoyed this reaction video, though, be sure to leave a like. If you like, leave a comment, share the video. I appreciate all the support. And I'm going to see you on the next one. I'm out. Peace.